When a file won't import into Premiere, we can use Photoshop to convert it. The AVIF file format is one of those, but even JPEGs and PNGs sometimes won't import correctly. So I'm going to right-click on the file and say Open with Photoshop. If Photoshop's not on here, go to Choose Another App. If it's still not on the list, go to More Apps, and it should show up by then. We don't want Photoshop to always open it. That's what this box would do. We can teach Windows what program to open a file with, but we're just going to open it this once with Photoshop. So when you first open the file, it's going to show you this on an AVIF. This raw format lets you change exposure and your darks and your whites, and like you can do a lot of things, but if you just click open, then it's in Photoshop. Now I'm going to File, Export, Quick Export as a PNG, and I'm going to put it in my favorite assets. That's the last place that I exported, and so that's why it's here. Make sure you're going to the right place and that you can find it. Now I made this a 0 just because it's my example, but I don't want to do the exact same name. I'm going to add the letter B so I can easily tell the difference between the two. I could also put something like PNG right after the number, but because I kept that number, when I look in here again, they're right next to each other. Notice this XMP, that is the little extra file that Photoshop makes to show like what adjustments I may have made. You don't need that. You can delete it safely. And now you can see I have a PNG version that I can then import. So when I go to Premiere, I'm going to double click here. That's the same as Control I or File Import. I need to import my favorite assets. And I can go to Backup 1 because we need this folder to import. If you're inside of it, there's no folder to import. So make sure you can select just the folder, import it, and then all the images will come in. Now, notice this is the error message that says the AVIF is not importing. So if you're missing one, that's probably why it is. Because I made that conversion, I do have my Miami picture. We're not going to use it in this project, but that's how you can get a file changed over to a format that will work in Adobe Premiere.